And let me minimize just for a second, show you that I've already downloaded the database zips and I've unpacked them into this database folder. In there we have a shell script called runinstaller.sh, and that's actually what we're going to need to run. But first we'll want to create our Oracle path, right? So let's make a directory. UO1 is the historic mount point name for Oracle. App Oracle product 12.1.0 db_1, so we'll do our home folder. And then let's change ownership to Oracle oinstall, and we'll change the directory permissions 775. Sweet. Now in Linux, sometimes you can proactively perform cleanup. So in other words, before we actually run the installer, we can set our environment variables to auto load every time we log in. Let me show you how that works. Let's see, I'm already root. So let's do a nano. I love the nano editor. Home, Oracle, bash_profile. And we'll make some edits here. By the way, all of the entries here are in Oracle base, so don't worry about copying them off your screen. You don't have to worry about that. Basically, I'm just pre-populating important environment variables like Oracle hostname with the hostname of the box, unique name, and SID. I know in advance that my database name in this server is going to be ORCL, so I put that here. I've already created the directory for the Oracle home, so that gives us the Oracle base. And we have some path stuff here to make it easier to run Oracle administrative utilities. This is just a nice bit of proactivity. So we'll do a Control X, and we'll definitely save the buffer, and we're good to go. Let me cat that out just to make sure that it took. Yep, there it is. Good deal. Well, let me exit out of my root account, verify that I am logged on as Oracle. That's the account that will own the installation. Let me just do a cd tilde, go to my desktop, database directory, and there's run installer. So we can do /run installer to kick open the Oracle Universal Installer. Let's get this party started. Now, if you watched the previous lesson where we installed under Windows, it's the same thing here. It might be instructive for you to watch this again. I'll buzz through quickly here because assuming you've watched the previous, you know exactly what's going to happen. We're going to just install the database software only. Actually, scratch that. Let's go a little bit different route. Let's make this exciting. Let's do create and configure a database and see how that works and how that differs from doing just a instance installation. We're asked, is this going to be a desktop or server class box? In almost all cases, you'll want to choose server class. This is going to be a single instance database installation, and we're going to do an advanced install here to get as many choices as possible. So let's select advanced, go past our English, we'll do Enterprise Edition, verify our Oracle base and Oracle home folders. Actually, it's not DB home 1, it's DB 1. Remember, want to make sure that these paths are accurate. Let's click next. Our inventory directory, that looks fine. The group name is Oracle, all good. And notice that we have slipstreamed in the installer our database configuration questions. So this is asking what kind of database do we want? Do we want it to be transaction oriented or analytics oriented? I'm going to do OLTP, I'll leave general purpose. We're asked to specify a name for the database. ORCL is the default, and that's actually what I have in my bash profile, so I'm going to leave that alone. I'm not going to do a container database. In the next module, I'll run through building a container database under Windows. This is going to be an old school single instance, single database system. So we'll click next. I'm going to do automatic memory management. Of course, you can tweak all that. Character sets, I'll leave that. That's how alphanumerics are sorted. Sample schemas, I do want to bring those along for the ride. For learning purposes, it's a good idea to have HR and Scott and those sample schemas with those tables and objects. So let's click next. I don't have an ASM instance on this box, so I'm going to leave file system, and notice that the default location for your data files is in your Oracle base folder. Under Oradata, you might want to consider putting that on another disk to separate your instance files from your database files. On my system, I just have the one disk, the one file system, so I'll leave that alone. This is a nice convenience. If we have an instance of Enterprise Manager Cloud Control, an OMS, a management server up, we can register with it from here, which is actually pretty convenient. Believe me, it's not too fun doing agent installation with Cloud Control, at least in my personal experience. So we would specify the host name and port number of our OMS, our Oracle Management Server, along with administrative credentials. I don't have my management server up and running yet. We'll actually do that in an upcoming lesson. So for now, I'll just uncheck and click Next. Do you want to enable flash recovery? This is something we'll spend an entire course doing. I'll leave that turned off for now. Of course, we have the ability to set separate passwords for our 3 default administrative accounts. I'll just use a single shared password and go ahead. As I think I mentioned in the previous module, we have additional OS groups in Database 12c, and it's asking us here to populate those if we want to. I'm going to populate them all with my Oracle account, which is who I'm currently logged on as. That's fine for now. Looks like in my prerequisite check, I actually have a failure. Normally with warnings, you might be able to get by with ignoring it. It looks like in this case, my maximum open file descriptors is set way too low here.